Most copywriters who try a profit share either get taken advantage of or they overcomplicate the deal and kill it before it starts. The actual mechanics of how to structure this are simpler than you think. But there is a right order, a right approach to ad spend, and a right way to position yourself so the risk sits with the opportunity instead of landing squarely on you. I've been running profit share deals for years. My main partnership is a real estate coaching business that went from $12K a month to $200K a month in 7 months. Today, I'm walking you through the correct deal structure so you can get in, build leverage fast, and never leave the upside on the table ever again. So, how did I find my business partner? Well, actually, I found him through cold email, believe it or not. I was running an agency at the time, and when I run cold emails as an agency, I personalize the hell out of them, right? So I'm putting this guy's face in my emails, I'm putting his customers, I'm putting his business name, I'm finding Google reviews. I know exactly 10 or 20 data points about him that I'm using in the email itself. But anyway, it's a whole separate thing, but that's how I met him initially, right? So I met him, he had a book that he wanted to create a book funnel out of. So emails, get it out to his list, et cetera, et cetera. I said, cool, let's do it. It was about a 3K project. And from there, after working with him, I over-delivered, right? So I didn't just do one book funnel. I did emails. I gave him a lot of value in how to structure his school community. I did so many things on the front end that when we finished the project, this guy was like, oh my God, there's so much value that you're doing. Can we work together more? Like, this is awesome. Whatever I paid you is like, I'm getting 10x value in return. And so for me, I said, all right, cool. Well, let's help you get your coaching business up and running. Because that month that we worked and finished our book funnel, he was doing 12K for the month. That was like maybe 5 or 6 coaching programs that he sold to students. And so when I started to work with him, we did pure commission. And this is the key here that I want you to take note. I made it risk-free for him because I took a pure commission. At that time, he was selling a 2.5K coaching program. I said, look, I'm going to get 14% out of everything that you make. And so it's everything that's tracked to me. So it's revenue that's tracked from everything I built. So what did I do? Book funnel, I ran ads to it. So I said, look, when you talk about a book funnel, we need to get traffic into it. But most importantly, it has to lead to sales. So this guy had a webinar. So I connected it together and we started running ads to this free plus shipping book funnel. And once we did that, the next month, 40K. 40K a month just from running ads and getting it out there to people. And so that's how I structured it and I negotiated from there, 50-50, and we just moved forward. So that's what I did. And I want to share with you what is a good system that I used. And so when you come into a business and you want to profit share with the client, ideally you already have the client. Ideally, you already have worked together with maybe on emails, you're doing setting, you're doing some sort of service for him that is a big pain in his funnel, right? So when you come into his funnel, you've worked on ideally that, you're saying, okay, I want to profit share with him. What do you do? What do you do when you start that profit share, right? So 2 things here. First thing is organic, and second thing is paid ads. So organic, we want to increase his email list. We want to get more conversations from his social media, from his IG, from his Twitter, from Facebook, from his Facebook groups. Whatever he has, we want to build those. We want to get those convos running so we can get more sales for his high-ticket coaching program. And so that's the whole goal. How do I get more sales for his coaching program? That's going to result in a fat profit share for me. Okay, so that's on the organic side, email list, social media, and building trust assets. Now, this is the key thing here. When you talk about a profit share, I was lucky that my guy actually wrote a book first, right? Maybe you're not so lucky. That's okay. There's always different assets that you can use. For example, any trainings, any speaker keynotes that they have done, even any ebooks and stuff that they've done, use that. Okay, everything that a prospect consumes, we'll move it to the sale. And so that's how I did it. And then we structured it, build a team out of it, get more sales, et cetera, et cetera. So the next thing I want to cover here is once you sign the deal, okay, you're working on organic, you're running emails, you're getting more conversations, more DME, and you're trying to qualify people. What do you do next? So who covers what ad spend, media buying, who writes the emails, who does the sets? Ideally for you, because you're early on, it depends on how much capital you have. For me, I had a deal with an email copywriter that I was paying about $50 an email, which came up to about 1K a month. And the ad spend is always covered by the client. It's always covered by the client, case closed. The media buying itself, the actual running of the ads, you want to run the ads yourself. What I did was I had an agency, right? So I had other clients. So I had a media buyer that I had a nice cut with. And so he came into my business for, I believe, $1,500 at the time. And he ran our ads. And so as we scaled the ad spend, of course, his grew. And soon that got incorporated into the expenses of the business. And so for us, again, we ran a book funnel, which means we liquidated a lot on the front end, and anything on the back end is a bonus, right? So that 14% that I earned was easy. And after that, of course, we negotiated for 50-50. So that's how we did it. The one thing I want you to keep in mind, the most important thing out of all of this is the risk for your business partner. That is the number one most important thing. Why? Because when they're working with you, your business partner, the person you want to profit share with, they are thinking, what could go wrong? Like, could I lose my entire funnel, my entire audience? Am I even going to make money? Is he going to just freeload off me? And so you want to elevate all of that by, first of all, not charging a base for your services. You want to do pure commission. And depending where they're at, so if they already created a coaching program, then I would say typically about 15%, that's good, 10 to 15%. If they haven't built anything yet and you are involved in making the coaching program, then you deserve more. Like I have a client right now that I'm coaching, and he's charging 50% profit share with his coach client to build the coaching program from scratch. If you're doing that, absolutely you deserve to do a 50-50. For me, we worked together for 3 months on 14%. And then I said, look, I want to go all in with you. This is really important to me. I see the growth to an easy 200K a month. And then we did 50-50. And so it's after a certain point, for example, 14% until 50K a month in revenue or in profit. And after that, 50-50. So that made it totally risk-free that if I wasn't doing shit, I wasn't getting money. Very, very simple. So he sees skin in the game as opposed to the whole agency model of, I'm going to take a retainer and then screw off and deal with another client. No, your business partner wants to see skin in the game. Okay? So that's my system for how I started and scaled my business partner. I want to add a bonus over here, which is what funnel to start off with. Right, so I've made a bunch of videos about this. I'll put it in the links below. I'll put it over here. But I want to give you a pointer here. And I want you to bias towards a low ticket. Why a low ticket? Because it liquidates on the front end. And anything you spend on the front end to get leads who buy, you profit 100% on the back end. Anything they buy on the back end, whether it's a catalog item, whether it's $997 or $4,997, that is profit to you. And so that's going to help you a lot with the profit, which is the most important thing in business, profit, right? It's a low ticket. I found it's an SLO, right? So a self-liquidating funnel. It liquidates on the front end. So that's it, guys. Hope this was useful. That's how I personally started, and that's how I've done 50K a month, average months with my business partner. And so if you like more of this content, subscribe, like this video. Till then, take care. Talk to you soon.